Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Karen Scott and this is Karen's Stamp Pad. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Edmonton, Alberta, and today I wanted to show you some cue cards. I got some inspiration from an Australian demonstrator, and her name is Andrea Sargent, and she's with Valley Inspirations with Andrea. And I tried casing her card, and her card uses the masking technique and some shimmer embossing paste. And she did watercolor background, and I tried doing that and it just didn't work out for me. I think I need to practice a little bit more, but I am going to use, like I did last week, my blending brushes, some ink daubers, and some dies. So do some die cutting again, as well as the embossing folder. So I'll quickly go through them. I'm going to do this card, and I have pulled in, so the dies that I'm using are from the Pansy Patch bundle, and let me show you. So this is the stamp set, and I'm not using the stamp set, maybe except for a greeting, and I'm using the coordinating dies that go with that stamp set. I've also pulled in the, which she didn't have, but the Dragonfly Garden suite, or not suites, I'm sorry, bundle. And it comes with a punch, a dragonfly punch. So there's two dragonflies as well. So those are all in the current catalog, and they are available. So are these masks. There's some that are in the new mini catalog that are on, not back order, but will be coming in at a later date. So I'm going to use the bricks. And so let's get started. If you are interested in any of these products or any other products in the catalog and you don't have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, please go to karensstamppad at stampinup.net, and if you place an order, use the March host code SKWAZ72F, and if your order is $50 or more, I will send you kits to make these a set of these cards and embellishments as a thank you gift from me. If you'd like, if your wish list is over $135, contact me and I can talk about the demo kit. You become a demonstrator, and you don't have to do anything with that, but it provides you with a future discount of 20% off. You get $165 worth of product for only $135, no shipping and no GST. So that's wonderful. So let me pull in my card. So I'm just going to do one. Let's see. And what I am going to show you, but I've got some stuff pre-cut already. So again, your basic card is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I have a piece of basic white that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and some smaller pieces. So this piece is actually embossed, and I've used the Old World embossing folder. A piece of, I love the card done in the Blushing Bride, and so a piece of Blushing Bride that measures 3 3/4 by 5 another piece of basic white, which is 3.5 by 4 3/4. You'll see it's just layering down. Okay, and a bunch of pieces, which I'm going to show you how to cut out. So I'm just going to do a couple. I've already cut a piece of cardstock, and I'm going to use my mini embossing machine. So you'll see how versatile this is. And I wanted to mention that this is, Stampin' Up! Is having a sale right now, and this machine is 20% off. It's actually $65.50, and you can include that in your starter kit if you wanted. And you could get pretty much everything you need for this card. So what I've done is I've put just a couple of dies on and a piece of paper. I have used the plate number 1. This is for the die cutting. And plate number 2 on the bottom here. And my dies on the paper, and another plate number 2. And we just, pardon me, I need to give it a push, sorry. This is me, not the machine. I need to stand up to do this. I'm going to put it in this way. There we go. I need to give it a push, sorry. There we go. Just needed to catch it. It's not as difficult as you think. And then we have our die cut pieces that we are going to use. Now you would, for the card, I would have to emboss this piece again, and 3, you'll see when we put them together. And so for each one of these pansies, we would have the base and 2 of these. So I'd have to cut another one of these for this flower. And here's leaves. There's other leaf dies in there as well. So let me put this part aside. I'm going to show you, and hopefully don't have as much trouble, using the embossing folder. Now this one, the embossing folders and some of the sets, the die sets that are on sale for 20% off as well. So for this one, you take the plate number 3 and plate number 4. So I'm going to put that down. I'm going to put my embossing folder in, put my top plate on, and that's for 3D, so, and this one is not a 3D, so let's see if this works. Oops. I'm really having a hard time here. Okay, so we'll put down 4. We will put down 1. I think this is how it goes. I'm used to using my big boss. You watch me struggle. Okay, I'm just gonna do this, and we're going to put it through. And let's just pretend that didn't happen. So anyway, you get the idea. And so now what I'm going to do is just pull in a piece of grid paper, and I am going to show you how to put the card together. So let me bring in my daubers, my blending brush, and so for the, let's just go ahead and put this together. I'm going to use my liquid glue because I want to center it. And it'll just give me a little bit of time to do that. Okay, now I'm going to take my piece of basic white. I am going to pull in my ink pad, and I'm just going to blend this. So, kind of like that. Now, let me show you how to do the masking with the embossing paste. So I have chosen it is a shimmery white, so it has sparkles in it. And pull that off, and there's my embossing paste. You can't really see the shimmer on here. And I'm going to take my mask. I'm going to line it up. Now, a good idea sometimes is to tape it down, that way it doesn't move. Like if you were going to, you can blend on this as well. And you'd want to then hold it down. So, but I am going to hold that there. And I don't want to spread it all over the whole thing, so I am just going to do and you don't need a lot of this, I find. There. And just take the excess off. Put that back in there. And I'm going to pull this off, and let's see if you can see the finished. Yeah, I think you can. There we go. All right, so I'm going to put that aside to dry because it's going to take a few minutes. And then, flip this over, I'm going to bring in my ink pad again and my dauber, and I've got all of my pieces die cut, right? So I'll pull them in, and there's lots. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but I will just give you a quick little. So what I've done is just kind of just lightly gone in, and I started using, when I did the original ones, I was using the blending brush, but I found I had more control with the ink dauber for the smaller pieces. And I just want a little bit, there we go. And I did the same thing with the butterfly. So what I've done is I've stamped using the Dragonfly Garden. There's two different dragonflies. And so it depends on whichever wing design you like. And I have used the punch and punched it out. And there's a little one as well that you can put on. So I've gone ahead and colored everything. I'm using Mossy Meadow because I still want a nice light touch for my leaves and the stem of my pansy. So and then what I would do is glue them together Okay. And it also, the dies come with a little center, which I have pulled in my So Saffron blend and just gone ahead and colored that. I just colored half of it. A lot of die pieces in this set. And then I'm going to put that on. All right, there we have it. So I'm going to move these pieces out of the way and pull in the already put together ones. So here's the stem. So I showed you how to do the large pansy. Here is these smaller ones. So let me just go ahead and color that, and I'll show you how to put it together, because sometimes figuring out what goes with what and how to put it together is the tricky part. So there we go. But once you get the hang of it, we're good now. Okay. So the smaller piece, the outer glue, put that on. Layer it on top of there. And then my little green stem. Okay. And put that on there. So it's very subtle. All right, now let's just push this aside and bring in my already completed pieces. Okay. So we have that glued together. And we're going to take our embossed or masked piece and glue that on. All right, and I want to pop this up, so I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals and just raise it up a little bit. And where did it go? So this is my take your pick tool. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's really handy to pick off the dimensionals off the piece of paper as well as the backing. I love it. Makes it so much easier and quicker. So we'll center that. I didn't do a very good job centering that one piece. So let's just put it on. I can fix that after. Okay. Now I just want to place my flowers. Oh, note, I found out the hard way and I'm doing it again. Little trick. Do not use liquid glue on the embossing paste. It does not work. It will not dry. So what I found is the glue dots work. So I'm going to put some glue dots on there. Cover up that little mess there. Still got liquid glue on there, so okay. And now this, I'm going to use the liquid glue because it's on a spot that does not have the embossing paste. I'm going to put it up there. You could use a glue dot as well. Okay, and I'm going to put that there. Now, I didn't do a greeting for this card just because I haven't decided yet what sentiment I want to use. You know, I think this it's such soft colors that you could use it as a shower card, wedding, anniversary, birthday. You know, it really is pretty. So then I have my dragonfly that I've punched out and colored, and I can do this little guy if I wanted, but I'm going to put the leaves on. I'm going to stick one in here, and again I did that, I colored those in the soft sea foam, and put one over here. All right, and then I'm going to put a glue dot on the back of my dragonfly. Maybe two. Okay. So the other ones that I've done, okay, so now I would just do a sentiment and, you know, find a spot maybe here to put that on, and on the inside I will take my Pansy Patch stamp set and stamp some pansies in my color in the Blushing Bride, and there you have your finished card. Now this one, I'll pull this back in. I used the dragonfly on there, and I did put a sentiment on, a happy birthday sentiment, and some ribbon that I have wrapped around and put between the two pansies. This one is using the dragonfly from Dragonfly Dreams, which is retired, but it is one of my favorite stamp sets, and I love the dragonflies and the dies that come with it. So I've put that dragonfly on there, and so there we have some finished cards. And let me know what you think and which one you like better. It's yeah, they're pretty stunning. So I'll show you a couple other cards that I've done a little bit differently, and this I have used the same Pansy Patch and the dragonfly, but what I have done is it's on basic white card. I have put a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of this is Purple Posy. I have colored in my flowers and my dragonfly in Purple Posy, and then I have embossed with the mini embossing. It's little circles, little dots in the background, and I have cut it with one of my curvy dies. So, and glued that on, and it's of course a I think, an 1/8 of an inch smaller piece. But there's another option for using your pansy patch or pansy dies. So that's it for today, and I hope you will take advantage of the sales that are going on with the mini boss and the dies and embossing folders. Everything is 20% off, and it's quite a deal. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you next week, and you have a wonderful Thursday afternoon. Bye for now.